right, we're going to start in 2 minutes. Stop my video. And if we have questions from YouTube, just in case, I'll just type it in the chat. All right, we're going to start in, oh, yep, it's live. 1, 2, perfect. All right, I'm going to start it right when it hits 11 o'clock. So I'm just going to, should I just start it now? And then we'll wait a little bit?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. I'm broadcasting.
All right, I think we're just going to give folks a couple minutes to get in. We had about 15 people registered for this webinar, and just want to make sure we give them a little bit of time. So let's give them a minute or two to log in, and then we'll get started. Thank you for being part of the webinar. All right, I think we're going to get started now. We are broadcasting live on YouTube as well, so there will be a recording of this this webinar that we can refer to afterwards. My name is Froy Nunez. I'm with project manager here at HACIA. I manage a contract with ComEd through the Future Energy Jobs Act. It's an introduction to small business management, workplace safety, and we also have the third component is the NABCEP certification for photovoltaic. It's an introductory course to becoming certified in the fundamentals of solar. So I will be adding a link there. We're recruiting right now for the next cohort that starts February 1st. We do have some spots open, so if anyone's interested, please reach out to me. I'll put my contact information down below, along with a link to apply. I want to introduce our guests here, Donald Higgins, Joshua Watson from CNI, and they are from the Chicago Neighborhood Initiatives. They'll be talking shortly about the application process from the construction side for the contractors in order to fill out their RFQ to be in line as a contractor to do some of the work out there as part of the Rebuild Illinois Distressed Communities grants, where business owners are able to receive funding to renovate or repair some of the damages that were caused during the civil unrest and rioting. So just to talk a little bit more about HACIA quickly, my colleague Matt Smith is on here as well. He runs the pre-apprenticeship programs and workforce development side of our training programs at HACIA. So Matt, feel free to throw some plugs in for your training programs down below as well. Anyone here that's interested in some entry-level carpentry and electrical folks, we just completed a cohort and pre-apprenticeship for carpentry, electrical, and some labors. So again, Matt, feel free to put your contact information below, or you can always reach out to HACIA, call us, email us. We're always here to assist you. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Donald. You should have received an RFQ form via email yesterday. If you haven't, we will be sending that out afterwards, along with a copy of this presentation. Thanks, Donald.
Okay, I will set up this presentation now. Share the screen. Can you see the presentation? Okay. Well, first off, I would like to thank Froyland, Christina, and the HACIA group for allowing us to speak and present on the Rebuild Distressed Communities grant program and provide this additional information to the contractors and to the other businesses who may be able to take advantage of this grant program or also participate in the grant program itself. So thank you again for allowing myself, my name is Donald Higgins, and my colleague Joshua Watson to present on this program. So first off, just a little bit about who we are. So CNI, we are a not-for-profit 501c3 real estate development organization that seeks and focuses on revitalizing neighborhoods by creating jobs, by developing high-impact projects, and providing financial resources to entrepreneurs and small businesses in low to moderate income neighborhoods. And now just a little bit about the Rebuild Distressed Communities program and what it is. So the Rebuild Distressed Communities program is a $25 million economic recovery program to support economically distressed businesses and communities that have sustained property damage due to the civil unrest on or after May 25th, 2020. CNI, we have been selected as one of the organizations to administer this grant on behalf of the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. The other group is the Local Initiatives Support Corporation, also known as LISC, that has been selected to administer the program on the DCEO's behalf. So who is eligible to receive these funds? This program was established to assist businesses and not-for-profit organizations that sustained property damage due to the civil unrest on or after May 25th. Also, nonprofits that can make neighborhood capital improvements in commercial corridors can also apply and are eligible. So the type of businesses that were impacted, who can apply? So the types of businesses that are included but not limited to are convenience retail stores, personal services such as dry cleaners, laundromats, barbershops, salons, spas, professional services such as doctors, lawyers, accountants, real estate brokerages, restaurants, taverns, soft good retail stores such as apparel, shoes, home furnishing, books, gifts, novelties, and then also industrial and warehouses. And also, the businesses or nonprofits must be located in a zip code that DCO has identified as eligible as part of the Economic Distressed Area Grant Program. So what are the amounts for the grant awards? So the grant awards range from $1,000 to $200,000. And again, these grant awards will be used to reimburse businesses for damages that they sustained and already addressed and paid for. And then also these grant funds will be used for new projects also. So for businesses that sustained damage but didn't have the funds to address those damages, these funds will be used for those new construction projects also. There are two tracks to this program. So first, the track one, which I just mentioned, was a reimbursement track. So for businesses that incurred damage and then paid for the damage, got their business open again, and were able to cover those costs, the first track is for them to get reimbursed. So as part of round one, we're going through reimbursing those businesses that paid for those damages. The second track is the new project track, which for businesses who weren't able to address the work and need to address the work, these are the new projects that this grant program can and will also address and help them cover and pay for. And then there's also a gap funding portion of it. So for some businesses who had extensive damage, they were able to pay for some of the damage. They applied to get reimbursed, but also there's some existing damage that they weren't able to address. They will be able to apply for that portion also as part of the track 2 new work construction project. So how does this work? What's the process of the second track? And this is where the contractors really come into play. First off, as part of the application process for the applicants, they submitted their application with the scope of work and the damages that they incurred as part of the civil unrest. And then the architect, they will verify that work, the work required, and will adjust the scope if necessary. The architect, general contractor, will then verify the work process at certain milestones throughout the project until completion. Depending on the scope of work, a general contractor may be assigned to manage repairs. If it's an extensive project with multiple trades that are needed, may then hire the general contractor to manage the process and the multiple scopes of work. And then lastly, the grant administrator, which will be CNI or LISC, we're responsible for soliciting the bids for work and reserve the right to select the vendors and the contractors. So the grant applicants who receive the grants, they will not be selecting the contractors. All that will come through the grant administrator, which is CNI or LISC, or the inspecting architect will be sending those bids out to the contractors or the scopes of work to the contractors to bid on the work. So what are some of the eligible costs for this program? It's structural repairs or reconstruction of existing building structures, storefronts, entrances, doors, and brickwork, total repair, replacement of roofing and or windows, total replacement and installation of security shutters, lighting systems, electrical systems, and then also building additions and or other exterior work which will extend the building's useful life. And again, the eligible costs and the scopes of work all must be bondable work that is that's being requested and being completed. The ineligible costs and expenses for the program are operating costs, including insurance, utilities, management fees, and maintenance, minor touch-ups, including painting, patching the roof, changing light fixtures, routine or recurring operational costs, or expenses that have already been reimbursed through a separate grant program. So applicants that requested the reimbursement, but those were covered by insurance or another grant that they received, those costs aren't eligible as part of this grant program. So this, from this slide on, this is where it really applies to the contractors and part of the RFQ process and how the contractors can become part of this program. So the program expects the projected scopes of work to include the following construction skills, but it's not limited to these to this work. So general contracting, carpentry, communication, electrician, electrical work, fence erector, glazer, masonry, cement, brick, tile, painting, pipe fitting, plumbing, roofing, sheet metal work, and sign hanging. And I'd just like to point out again, you see the expected work of painting. So in the previous slide, I stated that if it's a minor job, the painting is not included. But if it's part of a larger scope and a larger project where there's windows and drywall that needs to be replaced, and then the painting around that work, it will be included. So larger projects that include painting are part of this program. It's just not a minor work. If it's a minor work painting, that's not included as part of the scope or this project. So the contractor pre-qualification requirements, what are they? So as Christina pointed out earlier in this presentation, that they forwarded over to the contractors the RFQ that needs to be completed so that you can become a qualified contractor and participate in this program. And as part of this, part of the RFQ qualifications, we will be requesting or the statement of qualifications to be completed, the business license, general liability insurance, BEP certification if applicable, MBE WBE certification letter, W-9 request for taxpayer ID number and certification, and then the contractors cannot be referenced on the Illinois debarment list. And again, I just want to point out the MBE WBE certification letter. So contractors, they don't have to be MBE or WBE certified, but it will, we're looking for that, and it, where we entertain all contractors if they are or if they aren't MBE WBE certified. But then also, as part of this program, the state notified us and mentioned that if you're not BEP certified, they will help fast track that certification process. So if you are MBE WBE certified and part of this program, they will expedite your BEP certification, and which is normally a multiple week process. They will certify you within 1 to 2 weeks if you're participating in this program and also part of the MBE WBE, or if you are a certified MBE WBE contractor. What are the contractor responsibilities? So first, let's provide the firm bids, quotes for the capital repairs in response to the solicitations developed on behalf of the RIDC grant recipient. Provide all equipment, machinery, tools required to complete the work described in the scope. Procure all equipment, fixtures, and materials to be installed. Schedule and execute work in a timely and professional manner. Notify business owner of anticipated changes to the schedule and any unforeseen conditions. And then lastly, provide warranties, waivers of liens, and manuals to the business owner after the work is complete. Also, performance bonds will be required as part of this project. So if the contractor is selected to perform work on one of the projects, they will be required to furnish a performance bond within 2 weeks of the notification of the contract award. And previously I mentioned that the grants range from $1,000 to $200,000, with some possibly being larger, which have to be approved by the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. But The grant amount doesn't matter. If it's $1,000 grant amount or project cost, we're going to have to still require the performance bond. If it's $200,000 project, we'll still have to require it. So this is just a requirement across all projects. So these are the items that will be provided to the contractor that will be part of the bid package. The scopes of work, the insurance requirements, the bond requirements, and then also any photos or schematics if applicable. And then lastly, CNI will procure all site surveys and permits required for compliance. However, as part of the RFQ, there's a line question stated there: if contractors are familiar with the permitting process and if they've pulled permits with the city, because for some of these projects, that responsibility may be put on the contractor to also obtain some permits, easy permits if necessary. And then also the pay application documents. These projects will be paid out through a title company. So the participating contractors must provide the following statements, which are the GC's sworn statements, sub-trade agreements, certified payroll, construction schedule, partial final lien waivers, warranty for completed work, and photos of completed work. And I just want to highlight one of the items here, which is the certified payroll. So all of these jobs are prevailing wage jobs. So as part of that, the certified payrolls are and will be required for these jobs. So again, just if that question was to come up, all these jobs and the workers are to be paid according to prevailing wages. And that was it. Here are some additional resources that you can go to if you have any questions. The local initiative support corporations email here, which is ridc_grants@lisc.org, or CNI's email, which is the rebuildgrant@cnigroup.org. And then there's one other item that I did forget to mention earlier. As part of the RFQ process, I mentioned that we were one of the groups that were selected to administer the program. We received about $5 million to provide grants to the businesses. The other group is LISC, who they received about $20 million to provide grants to businesses. We're focusing on the south side and the south suburban zip code areas. And then also LISC, they're focusing on the north side, the west side, and they have other parts of the city. And as we're going through and qualifying contractors to be part of this program, LISC, they will also be using our list of pre-qualified contractors for their work. So you won't only be receiving scopes of work from our projects just on the south side and south suburbs. They will also be reaching out and using our list to solicit bids and quotes from the list of contractors that we pre-qualify for their work, which they have a larger grant that they received and for additional areas that they're servicing. So that's it for me. Any questions? I don't know if there have been questions posted in the Q&A chat that my colleague's been answering as I've been presenting, but if there's any additional questions, feel free.
There is one question down there. I'll read it off to you, Donald. It says, what if you are BEP, but not yet MBE, WBE certified? Is there assistance for this?
For the reverse route, if you're a BEP certified, well, actually, see, normally we've experienced with if they were MBE or WBE certified with the state or with the city or county, they will help expedite the BEP process. Reversal, I'm not too sure about that if they are BEP certified, but not MBE or WBE certified. So there's not a process for us to help expedite that. If it's the other way, if they were already MBE, WBE certified through the city or state, we can help, or the state will help expedite that certification process to become BEP certified.
Okay, and then there was one more question on the Q&A. Where do we email the completed RFQ? Do we send it to rebuildgrant@cnigroup.org?
Yes, you could email it there, and my colleague Joshua will also put my email address. You can email it to CC me also, my email address, so that I receive it directly also. And, would you mind putting that in the response, Joshua, my email address?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we will add the emails, and after this presentation's over, we will be emailing the PowerPoint along again with a copy of the RFQ to everyone that participated and registered for the webinar. Are there any more questions before we wrap this up? As far as time frame, I can't remember if you spoke about that. You know, what's the time frame for vetting the contractors and getting those that were approved into some work?
Well, actually, right now, I'm glad you brought up that question, because we're actually going through the second round of applications at this point, and this is where we really need additional contractors, and this is the time for the contractors to submit their RFQs as soon as possible, because this round 2, this is focusing on new work applications. So once these new work applications are reviewed, the grants approved, we will be soliciting the contractors to bid and provide bid on the scopes of work. So as soon as possible now, because this is where where we're really going to need contractors as part of this second round and third round going forward. Sure. And then the timing, we don't actually have an exact timing on when that is. It all depends on the approval process, but the second round was opened on December 21st, and it will be closing, I believe, on February 5th. So this is the time frame that the new work applications will be submitted. And after that February 5th, we're going to be reviewing and approving applications. So this is the time now to really submit your RFQs as soon as possible. Gotcha.
Very good. And then one more question on my part. Since this is part of a big initiative in the state of Illinois, and not only does CNI get funding, but you also mentioned LISC, who's got a big share of the dollars from the state for this. Now, if someone gets approved and is doing some work through CNI, do they also have the potential of, because they've already been vetted and they're working on this program, would they be able to qualify as well with LISC to do some work with LISC? Is there going to be some cross,
We're going to recommend that. We don't know how their process is. We've been in discussions with that. They have a slightly larger organization than us, and then have to go through different departments on approval. But we're going to be recommending that, and then they're going to probably rely on our list. So once they have that list, I don't think there's going to be any additional vetting or requirements needed to provide them. But again, we're kind of working through that with them right now.
Gotcha. Okay. And what's the length of the program as far as like what you foresee in the future? Like, how long is this going to last? How much work?
It is a year program, so I believe it should probably, I think it's going until, I think, August or September, because we started this program actually in October, and so actually, so September or October, it's a year program. Mm-hmm. But if we exhaust all the funds earlier than that, the program will end a little earlier than that also. And that's the goal, to get as many applications as possible, get all the dollars out as soon as possible, and get the work done as soon as possible.
All right. Well, thank you. And I don't see any more questions. Last chance for our attendees to throw some questions on the Q&A board. If not, I want to thank everyone for participating. And this was our second webinar with CNI. These guys are doing a great job trying to communicate this information to our network here at Hacia and other contractors in their area. So, you know, please apply and fill out that RFQ, send it in. And if you know anyone else that may qualify for this, please recommend them and send them the information. I'm always available at Hacia to answer any questions, and I could guide you in the right direction in regards to any questions you may have. So, Donald, Joshua, anything else you want to add?
No, just again, I want to thank you and your team, Hacia, for allowing us to present on this Rebuild Distressed Communities Grant Program, and looking forward to working with your group and the contractors within your group. Thanks again.
Absolutely. And here at Hacia, we look forward to seeing our contractors being part of that rebuild process. And thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. This concludes our webinar, so we'll be signing off now.